I have kids, and their schools may or may not take place in person. I get the sense that most of the folks on this Zoom tonight are students at Harvard, either college or Kennedy School, or maybe from some other schools. So for you all, are you remote as well? Is that correct?
We're all remote, classes entirely. At least
Yeah,
Michael and
remote
I
for the
are.
semester. So Michael, it's funny. You're just like me, where you just like you're like in your room, be like, "Oh, I'm gonna zoom out this thing. I'm gonna put a jacket on. It's time to moderate. It's time to look good." Well, the reason I ask this, Sahar, is because if you put yourself in the shoes of people that aren't that much younger than you, who are in school, who are then having to learn online, you know that it's not as good as going in person to some place. No, it's true for you, and I would say it's more true for younger children. Whereas if you're a younger child, a lot of the learning you get is socialization, and it's obviously very difficult to get that kind of socialization if you're remoting in. And even if you look at the development of hard skills like math, there have been studies that have shown a 30 to 70% drop off between retention from when you are in person versus online. So the frustration I have as a parent is that online is really not as good as a real thing. I mean, we could just call it as it is. And in our society today, we have a tendency to put a happy face on things as soon as we don't have a choice. So now it's like, well, we're online. Maybe online is awesome. And then we turn around being like, is online awesome? I'm here to tell you all that it's not your imagination. Online is not awesome. And it gets less and less awesome the younger you get. So for younger kids, it's worse and worse. And to your question about the fact that does this make inequities worse, it 100% does. Because if you're a young kid who's in a disadvantaged community or a household, you're going to fall further behind when your school does not open for that year. And if you're a young person who's, let's say, starting their career, which to me is still young, but like people a few years older than you, it's very difficult to get a foothold in an organization if you don't have a chance to prove yourself. And a lot of proving yourself, unfortunately, comes down to whether or not you can just interact with folks in a way that gets them to trust in your work, to like you. So, Sahar, you interned at CNN, and you had it sounds like a really good internship where they gave you real responsibility, and I'm sure you could prove yourself. But that's not necessarily going to be the case for folks who are trying to get a foothold in different types of organizations. So this is just a really rough time, I think, and we shouldn't pretend that online is as good as in person in a lot of these environments. It's just the best we can do right now. So it behooves us to try and make the best of the best we can do right now, and that's what we have to try and pour our energies into, especially for younger kids.